Hello students, this is Dr. Petrola. Once again I am back with a video on string part 2. This is where we are going to learn how to read a string character by character. So before we get into this concept, we are going to start first with our basic you can say recap of what we did in the previous video. So we learned in the previous video string is a non-numeric data type. We have seen that all the data that you see on the computerized output comprises of both numeric and alphanumeric both, where alphabets or say non-numeric data type helps to represent what the values are. Then we have also seen data. There are three types, but basic general two types, numeric and alphanumeric. Numeric is pure numbers for which you have got these keywords. Non-numeric, that is string, alphanumeric, which is also known as string, which comprises of alphabets, digits, special signs and symbols, which is further divided as string as well as character type data. A character is nothing but something, a symbol or a figure that can be recognized by your Java compiler. Then we have also seen a string is also known as a ready-made class or a composite data type. It is also known as an array of character or also known as non-primitive data type. Non-primitive because it is the only non-primitive data type, rather say, to allow us to store a data value. Whereas character is a primitive data type, char is a primitive data type, it's a keyword that allows us to store single character. Whereas string will allow us to store 0 or more number of characters under a pair of double quotes, whereas this is a single quotes. So examples have been seen by us yesterday. Then we also saw char, some variable is equal to a character can be stored. So if I say print ch, it is supposed to print s. Whereas in this case you say string with of course S capital, hello Mumbai is going to store this entire thing, and if I print, it will print also here. Alright, so we saw here yesterday the definitions, both characters definition and a string function. We have seen there are almost 24 functions we will be learning. These functions are ready-made provided by Java in your string class itself, and all of them are of return type. So let's very quickly pick up a string. We also saw here, we saw that each string when you store, a computer provides each character of a string, or rather say computer stores each character of a string into a separate box, and each box is of 2 byte size because Java is a 2 byte code, and they will be auto numbered by computer as index number. So they are called string index number, begins always with 0 and it increases in a sequential order until the last character. We have seen the other string as well. The reason behind I am showing you this is that in this particular session also, wherever there is send being used, computer will use hello how are you, and wherever there is name being used, computer will always use Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar. Alright, so again here also index number 0, s and so on. Then we saw yesterday that we need to read a string, the whole string we saw how to read, and we also saw how to read a character, single character. So let us quickly recap on what we learned. So we have it over here in our Java. So here is what we have, string s is equal to Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar. Here is a string which is being stored under a single variable s and a character which is storing a. So if I say print ln s, means computer will print this entire thing, Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar, whereas ch will print the a part because it's there. Then we also saw that if I want to find a charAt, charAt is character at in the string. This could be a variable as well. In the string, character at 5 number index. So we saw 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. At 5 number there is e. So since it's a single character going to be returning, x has to be of a character type and it will print e. So if I compile this program and run this program, I'll see Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar, a which is being stored and printed, and a character in what do you call I love Mumbai as e at 5 number. Okay, so this is what we have learned. Now suppose if I want to read a particular string, so I am reading a particular string. Let's assume here is a string called Sachin, and I want to print each character of this particular string, or I want to make computer read each string and then we want to print. Then in that case I can straight apply first character 0, second character 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So character in W, W is my Sachin, in W character is 0 is S. In W character at 1 is A, at 2 will be C, at 3 will be H, at 4 will be I, and at last correct position is 5 N. So if I compile actually this program and run, it won't give me any error message to me, and I am getting my Sachin also being printed. But in this case, if you look at this, what if the string is very big? It's like a textbook kind of a thing. Then it's very difficult to write such a big program and write too many print statements. It's illogical. So what we do is here we learn to create a loop, because if you look at this, each index position is in the sequential order. We can create a loop to generate this number and read this entire string. So I am closing this and I am starting with another program. So assuming that user will type. So first thing is, in case user will type, and in the program the function that scanner will supply is called .next line with L capital. So if user is supplying a particular string, okay, then I will say SC is my scanner object .next line. This will help me to collect the entire statement and store it under a variable S. So assuming, still we are assuming that we are going to make use of Sachin, okay, for the time being. So we know Sachin is going to come from the user. We started from 0 to the length. So Sachin 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we have generated 0 to 5 each index using a loop, and we apply that loop. So we are storing that every time computer will repeat a loop, each character is stored and immediately printed. So now if I compile and I run the program, it is allowing me to type. I am typing Sachin, it tells me Sachin. Alright, each character is separately printed and read and printed. But now say what if I have Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar, okay, because right now we were assuming that the value is Sachin, but when you are asking user anything, you don't know how big the statement would come. Now assuming that I actually input Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar, okay, then this program will not give me any error message, but this program will print only first 5 characters of the string, because my loop only goes till there. Okay, you see Ramesh Tendulkar has been ignored because my loop goes only from 0 to 5 characters. Okay, now what if I have a name smaller than this? So if I cut this part out, now I am only putting Sach, or alright, just like this, Sach. Now in that case what will happen? If I compile, computer shows no error. Assuming that I am going to print Sach, loop will go from 0 to 5 number character. Now there is 0 index, there is 1 index, there is 2 and there is 3. But after 3 there is no index, whereas loop will go on reading that. So suppose if I run this, I will get an error message here. So if I say SACH, computer will immediately show me an error message. So let us first go through the error message and understand. You see, at 0 number, 1 number, 2, 3, but error message will show me that error has come at number 4, range at 4, because when computer tried to generate loop value 4 and that 4 number is being read, which is not there, so it tells me string index out of bounds exception. This particular error is very important, string index out of bounds exception. This error is meaning over here is that you are trying to read the entire string beyond its limit. Okay, now how do you solve this problem? When the statement is big, I know only 5 will come. When the statement is small, I am getting an error message. Now to overcome this, we have another function to learn, is called dot length. So here is a function called dot length. Okay, so since my picture is there, I am just writing here, it is dot length. I will try to see that in the next video it won't come there. Dot length is a function. In array it is a property of the array. Alright, this is not a function, but in string being a class, it's a ready-made function. The job of this function is to count and return the actual number of characters as per human count. So if I say hello, how many characters? In human point of view, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the value is 5 number of characters. So a string function will return. Now the moment you say actual number of character, it is always going to tell you how many characters are there. It means it's always going to return you an integer, because the number of character can be 5, 6, 10, 2, 12. You cannot have 4.5 characters, right? You cannot have 3.8 characters. You will have either 3 characters or you will have 4 characters. So in that case, the data type returned by a dot length is going to be int. Now if I am going to say system, so the syntax says whatever the string variable dot length. So if I say hello dot length, alright, then as I say, suppose system.out.println, then this will print 5, because in hello there are 5 characters. Similarly in send is hello, how are you, has got total number of 18 characters. That's how they are numbered from 0 to 70. Indexing is always 0, whereas human count is always 1. That's why here it's, see, indexing, if I put 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, but my counting, human counting is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So that's one of the reason you must understand that the last index position of any string will always be whatever dot length minus 1. Okay, so if my last index position is 17, it means there are 18 characters. In name, Sachin, Ramesh, Tendulkar, we saw 0 to 22 indexing. Now this is going to return me 23, because there are total 23 number of characters. Since we are storing that into L must be of integer type, because this will return an integer, and we print L, so L is supposed to be printing 23. Now if I have to apply this over here in my program, now I don't know what is the value, but I do know whatever string will come, it will go in an S. So I am writing here, let's say system.out.println. So I am going to copy this. So I say copy and I paste it over here, and I am just writing here number of characters is equal to, now I am going to put here s dot length. So this will give me actual number of length. So I am still going to put Sachin, okay, just to show us. Still I am going to put Sachin, so we know this is going to read this. Alright, now this is supposed to give me 6, because there are 6 number of characters. So let's see whether it is going to come first. So here Sachin, it gives me there are 6 characters, but we read 0 to 5. Okay, now let us apply the dot length into our loop. Now can I say I less than equal to 5 is as good as I less than 6, which means same, because it is a numeric value, integer value. Any integer less than nearest integer less than 6 is 5. So computer will generate 0 to 5 still. So if I compile here, okay, I say copy and I put it over here, it gives me 6. See, it still reads all, because I less than 6 means I will generate 5, or I less than equal to 5 means also generate 5. Now I can apply this 6. Since we are applying this 6 over here, instead of this, what if I write this? So if I say copy and paste, which also means Sachin means 6. So if I say input still Sachin, this will give me 6. This will also be counted as 6. I less than 6 means 5. So now computer will help me reading that entire string. So here Sachin gives me here. Now you see we are going based on the length. So this time if I say right click and I say Sachin, Ramesh, Tendulkar, then computer will find the length of this and apply in a loop. So you can see all up to Tendulkar R has come. there are total number of 23 characters. Each character is being read at each index position until it goes till the length. So under no circumstances your loop will cross the length because you already made it. Alright, each time I value changes, the position changes here, character at that index position is read, stored and then immediately printed. So we are just trying to first read out each character from a string, given string, and ensuring that whether you increase or decrease. So now if I say I decrease, I am going to only put SSCH. It will print SSCH because now the length is 4. So computer will immediately apply that 4 over here. I less than form is 3. SACH is 0, 1, 2 and 3. So computer will go accordingly. So this is how computer will read each character from a given string. Character by character reading needs this line. In general, lot of people use this directly. So if I actually say copy and paste it over here, okay, many of the people they don't use this line, they straight print, it will work, nothing wrong with this. So if I come here and I say okay, Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar, it works. You can see all the characters are working. But in general, whenever, at least my concept of teaching, I always say that whenever you want to read any data, first store it because it may be useful for other checking as well. So many things that you will be able to do. So I hope you understood first how to read each character and then print it out. Okay, now in the same program, let us assume that I want to check how many characters are space, or how many characters are alphabet A, or how many characters are specific character types of character like you have vowels. Then on char type, on the data which is of char type, all the relational operators work. So what are the relational operators that will work on this? Is less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, equal to and not equal to. All of them can work on a ch. Okay, so I'm just keeping ch still. All of them will work. For example, once I read this character, I can straight check if it is equal to a space. So I can just say if ch equals to space. Now it's a character. Remember this, ch is a character type data. Since it's a character type data, I have to make use of a single space, single quote and not double quotes. Because ch by itself is a character type, I cannot apply a string type. You cannot compare a string with a character, though it could be a space. Okay, so if this is a space and I want to count, so I'll say C++. Provided, of course, we are going to say here int C is equal to 0. Because without counting, without introducing initial value, you cannot make use of a counter. So now every time computer will read a character, see, because it's being stored, I have to use the variable. But if I do not store this, then everywhere I have to actually type s.charAt of I. So to avoid that, we make use of a variable. So now every time this is going to read, computer is going to check whether it is a space. If space is found, computer will make a counting. Okay, now let us say that I cut this from here now and I print it afterwards. Alright, I want to print after this how many spaces are there. So I am going to say here num frequency of spaces is equal to, and I say C. So now every time a space is, let's say we write down here I love Mumbai. Alright, I love Mumbai. Now we know there are only two spaces. So computer's job is to go from one character to each character. So if I give you a text, okay, any text, if I tell you a text from here, let's say if I go back here and I give you this text and I tell you how many spaces are there, you find. So what you will do, you all know how the space looks like. So we'll say 1, okay, so we will say here 1, we'll count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and so on until my entire page is over. So assuming it by the time your page is over, this number was, let's say, 85. Once it is over, you will say total number of spaces are 85 because those many you must have counted. And if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a gap of 1, increasing by 1. So coming back here, we are also doing the same thing using computer. We made computer to go from beginning till the end of the length, end of the string, read each character. As soon as the character is stored, check if it is a space, count it and then go to the next character. If it is not a space, ignore this, yet go to the next character. So every character is read, computer is checked, and at the end of the loop. So when the loop is over, logically we know the entire statement is over. So whatever is the last value of C must have been your number of spaces. So I am just going to say copy, compile here, run here, and I put my statement. I love Mumbai and my school. Just like that. So now we know total number of spaces. If you see, there are 5 spaces. This is number of characters because the length is getting printed, and here is a frequency. So every character that I wanted, I checked it over here. This is now not required, so I'll disable this line. So now this helps me to count a particular character as well. Okay, so we suppose for some reason I want to know how many times alphabet, let's assume A is being used. Okay, alphabet A is being used or I has been used because I has been used twice. So if I want to check I, now if I put I, now the alphabet has 2 problems, or rather say 1 problem. Alphabets are of both types, small letters and capital letters. So what if the letters are capital, like I love Mumbai, I is capital there, whereas in Mumbai I is small. But human point of view, both are I want to count both of them, then I can make use of here, or I can say CH equals to capital I as well. So now every time computer will read a character, it will check whether it is a small I or a capital I, then it will be counted. Any other character will be ignored. Okay, and then by the time I'll say, instead of spaces, I can say frequency of character I is equal to, I can write down small I as well. So sorry, let me just copy this, say copy, and India. So now you know there are 4 places, it gives me 4 times because in Mumbai you have I over here 1, 2, 3 and 4. So all 4 places it is being used. There is a famous question from ICSE, is counting number of vowels. So now I can apply A, E, I, O, U, all of them here. So I have this question somewhere here. Let us open the question and quickly have a look at it. How do you check for vowels? That is the question here. Okay, now I don't need this. We need only vowels, so I'm going to check vowels only. So let's say user is going to enter a statement. We don't need all this, okay, because right now we are only looking for vowels. So let us assume that user is going to input a statement. We don't know what the statement would come. Okay, so we store the statement under a send. Alright, I don't need this as well because I don't count anything else. For counting number of vowels, I have a counter which is here. You can write C++ as well. So I can write C++ as well. Now we go from 0 to the length. So in send, computer will start reading from 0 index until it will reach to the length. Every character is read and we check if it is small a or capital A, small e or capital E, small I or capital I, you can see this, it's all O, capital O, U, capital U, A, E, I, O, U. If that is true, if this is true, okay, if this is true, then computer is going to make a count, okay, count, and then carry on with the next character. By the time this loop is over, we logically understand computer has gone from first index till the last, made a count, and when we came out, we say frequency of vowel is C. So now here if I say compile, I write the same thing, I love Mumbai. So here I say I love Mumbai and India. So how many vowels are there? You guys can check. Alright. You can pause the video, count it, and then you run the video, you will get this answer. There are 10 vowels. Okay, because in the statement there will be 10 vowels. So every time computer will read each character, it can make a check on this. So you know, a lot of questions you will come across where first thing you need to learn is how to read a string character by character. So for that you will be needing definitely an input from the user. You will be needing a loop which will go from 0 to the length of that string. We need a variable which will help us storing character at each index position inside the loop. Alright, and then what is to be done on each character, that needs to be processed over here. So this particular program will help you counting just the not just the character. So I'm going to just maximize the screen. Yeah. So now you can see the entire program. So I hope you guys have understood how to read a string character by character considering the length, so that it will help you to read the string and apply it in your situation. So when the programs will come, we will start applying this knowledge of reading a string character by character. I hope you guys have enjoyed this session. Keep practicing on first reading a string character by character. In the next session, we'll be reading string word by word, or maybe we'll learn first how to accumulate string with various types of data and then read string character word by word. Thank you. So we are here, the last function that we learned.